Hello and welcome everyone to this session on engaging the first line with effective policy management. I'm Harish. I'm the product manager for the MetricStream policy and document management app. In this session, we are going to look at the key challenges in engaging the first line with respect to policy management. And then we'll talk about how the MetricStream policy and document management app addresses these challenges and engages the first line. Then we will look at the relevant capabilities in the application itself through a demo. So when it comes to policy management, the needs of the first line users are they should be able to have a single place where they can go to see all the policies that they need to view and access them and perform tasks like policy attestations and requesting exceptions, etc. So to do these, to meet these needs in an efficient, systematic manner and at scale, you would need a technology solution, that is a policy management application or a GRC system. But when you have to engage the first line and not just meet the needs that I just stated, but actually go ahead and engage the first line users effectively, the GRC system or the policy management application has to address certain challenges. So what are those challenges? The first one is these users, these first line users in a policy management case, this would be typically everybody in the organization who would need to access the policies. And a large majority of them may not be people who are either conversant with the GRC domain or may not be people who would use the GRC systems. They may not be conversant with the GRC system. So these are, to a GRC systems, when it comes to GRC system, these would be occasional users. Let's take the example of a technology company. There, the people in the engineering department may not be conversant with the GRC domain, may not be conversant with the GRC system either. So or if you take an example of a bank, the bank manager who is in charge of, say, the lending operations in a bank would probably be conversant with things like the risks and controls, etc. May be familiar with the GRC domain, but may not be very conversant with the GRC system, as that may not be something that he would use on a regular basis in his work. So again, these are occasional users. So when these occasional users go to a policy management application to access policies, the fact that they are not regular users, they are not conversant, should not hinder them from using the application in an easy and intuitive manner. They should be able to get to the policies that they want and perform the relevant tasks easily. The second challenge is these users would also typically look for these documents and policies in places like intranet or in applications and interfaces like the intranet that they are already familiar with. Instead of going to another application to see the policies, they would want to see policies in the applications and interfaces that they are already familiar with and they already use for their daily work. So, for example, they would ideally like to see the policies, say, in a place like the intranet. So how can the GRC system have policies, take policy, how can the GRC system take policies to where users are instead of asking users to go to a specific application to access these policies? The third one is training. How can, considering that this is a large user base, it is not feasible for organizations to spend time and money on training these users. So the policy application should be easy and intuitive enough to use without any training. So these are the challenges that a GRC system, a policy application has to address to make the first line engaged. How does the policy and document management app, the MetricStream policy and document management app, address these challenges? Let's look at that. So first up, we have a policy portal, which is a centralized repository, a one-stop shop where for all things policies, where people can go to access policies, we have this policy portal designed for the first line, which means these users would find it easy to discover the information that they want from this portal. So all the critical information that they would look for are laid out upfront on this page, and so that they don't have to, so that they can get to the policies that they want to get to in quick time and with little or no training. All the key information, like as you can see in this screenshot over here, like my bookmarks, the documents that you have bookmarked, the things that you would access frequently and you would have bookmarked them. So the my bookmarks, the trending policies that have been added or updated newly, any announcements that the admin would like you to know, and all the attestation tasks to be completed. All these pieces of information are laid out upfront so that it is easy for these users to get to some of these information. The portal also provides powerful search capabilities, which will allow these users to search for specific information beyond what's already available upfront. And then this is also an interface that's responsive and mobile friendly, which means the employees can have access to these policies at any time, even if they are on the move. They can access these policies on a browser on their mobiles. So this policy portal, the policy portal essentially enables the first line users to get to the policies that they need to get to, access them, and do so quickly and without needing a lot of training. With very little or no training, they'll be able to access the policies and perform the necessary tasks. That's about the policy portal. Now, I also spoke of the second challenge, where how can we bring policies to where users are. The MetricStream policy and document management app also provides the capability where you can have something like a policy search widget that you can place in an application like the intranet. It need not always have to be an intranet, but something like that where your users go to where you feel it makes sense to have something like this. Any application where it makes sense to have such a widget, you can place this widget and the users can access the policies from here. The widget is powered by the APIs, the search APIs that the application provides, which means the users will see the policies that they would have seen on the portal, but they don't have to go to a different application. Instead, they can see it over here. The APIs make sure that the user authentication and the document security is considered when these policies results are shown over here. So what this would mean is, because the users don't have to go elsewhere, they are able to see, they are able to access these policies in a place where they are already familiar with, where they are already visiting, or an application that they are already using for their daily work. This would mean the barrier for these users to access these policies is even further reduced, and this would also eliminate the need for training, as you can use simple widgets like this, or you can build your own custom visualizations as well using the APIs that are provided. Going further in the direction of making policy search and access easier for the first line, we have prototyped a solution in our GRC labs which intends to make policy search conversational. So what does that mean? So whenever the users actually search for policies, they are typically looking for certain information. They articulate that. They try to articulate that information through a few words of text that they provide. For example, in the current situation of the COVID-19 pandemic, there are a lot of organizations where most of the employees are working from home. So the organizations have changed policies to adapt to this new environment. In such a situation, employees may want to know what are the things that they'll need to know. Say, so they would probably go to a search and say, I want to avail work from home. Now, I don't know, as an employer, I may not know what are all the different policies that I need to be aware of, what content within those are relevant to me for what I'm searching. So I just give a few keywords, but the search has to go beyond those keywords, understand what the user is trying to do, understand the user's intent, and show appropriate results and display snippets, relevant snippets from the appropriate policies. So this is something that we have prototyped in our GRC labs, and this is based on an NLP-based algorithm. So this prototype we expect to productize in one of the upcoming releases. So with this, what happens is the search becomes far more intelligent. It goes beyond keywords, makes the search conversational, and gives relevant results to the user, understanding the user's intent. So with all these, the overarching idea is to make sure it becomes very easy and simple for these first-line users to access policies and perform necessary tasks very easily without any difficulty. So once that happens, the engagement, the first-line users would be more engaged, which means the policy management will be effective as well. So how do we do that? So how does the application look like when it comes to these capabilities? We saw the screenshots of this. Let's head to a demo of the application where I want to show these capabilities live in the application. So this is the policy portal, which as I said, is a one-stop shop for all things policies, where all the policies that the user has access to are available over here. As I said, all the information, the bookmark documents, the trending policies, recently added or updated policies, everything are listed up front. Any announcement that the admin would want to make is also available over here. All the policy attestation tasks are listed. So everything that the user needs to know or needs to complete are shown up front. The interface is also very simple. You just click on the document name, it opens the document where you can browse through the content of the document, the PDF version of the document, and then you can see what are all the related risks, controls, etc., as well as the additional references that have been made in this document. You can look at additional metadata of the document, like who is the, what is the document category, what's the status, etc., through this details pop-up that you see over here. You can bookmark documents through this bookmark icon, so that any document that you use frequently will come up over here in the My Bookmark section. And when it comes to attestation also, it's a very simple interface where the document is embedded within the attestation interface. The attesters can read through the document, and once they are done with it, they can click on the accept button over here and complete the attestation task. So apart from that, there could also be a scenario where I know that the particular policy, say for example, the code of conduct policy, I know this is a document that will be there in the, say, HR category. So the system provides the classification of documents into different categories, which is basically the way the documents are structured. You can think of categories as identical to folders. So I can go to this particular folder where I know it would typically be there and access the document over there. So this is another mode of accessing the document. Beyond this, if I want to specifically look for something, I can use the search capability and get to the document that I want to get. I can also use the advanced search capability to filter the result set to a more refined set that I would want it to be. So these are the different capabilities that the policy portal has, which makes it very easy for the first-line users to view and access policies, get to the policies that they need to get to in quick time, as well as with little or no training. And the other thing to add, which I already stated, is this is also a UI, a user interface which is responsive, which means this is also mobile friendly, that can be accessed on a mobile device using the browser. This is about the policy portal. Now, moving on, how do we address the second challenge that I talked of taking policies to where these users are? So we spoke of the widget, where this is what we are saying. So this is a widget, policy search widget, that is placed in a mock intranet site. It need not always be, as I said, an intranet site. It can be any relevant application. You can place this widget over here. It provides all the capabilities. It provides identical capabilities in terms of search. We can search for policies and open the policy from here. And then you can also view the My Bookmarks, which we saw in the policy portal, recently published. So you can do these things. So basically, you can do the same thing that you were able to do on the policy portal, but right from where you are, that is probably an internet application or any other application. As I said, this widget is in the backend powered by the search APIs that the application provides, which means the APIs take care of user authentication, it takes care of document security, thereby ensuring that the users only see documents that they have access to in the MetricStream application. And as I said, you don't have to stick with this widget. You can take this widget that we provide in the out-of-the-box application and make certain configuration changes and embed it into your applications. Or you can build custom visualizations using the APIs that we provide. Or you can also, if you have a use case where you already have a search capability within your intranet, where you want to append the results from the MetricStream system also to that, so that would also be possible. So basically, essentially what this translates to is these policies are now available in an application and interface that the users are already familiar with and that they would use on a daily basis for their regular work as well, which means they are familiar and that would require no training as well. A small point on the authentication though, if the users are already signed on to a single sign-on kind of integration, so you would have, if you're already signed in, you would not be asked for a login. Otherwise, you will just be asked for a simple username, password login, which you can do, and then you will start seeing the results over here. So that's about taking policies to where people are or where our users are. The next one is, as I spoke of, is the prototype of conversational search that we have done in GRC Labs. So as we spoke of, how do we make search conversational? How do we make search go beyond keywords and actually understand users' intent? Let's take, so this is the widget over here, which is kind of, which will be doing that. So let's take the same example of, I want to say I want to avail work from home. This is an example that I spoke of when I was presenting. So here it will list the policies that are relevant to what I am searching, understanding my understanding my intent. It will also display relevant snippets from the relevant policies relevant to the search text that I have provided. So with this, what happens is the users don't have to be worried about what keywords to use. They just need to tell the search engine what are they looking for, and the search engine will go beyond keywords, understand the user's intent, and provide relevant results. For this, we are using a natural language processing algorithm called BERT from Google. So it comes with a pre-trained data set, which means you can use this algorithm with very limited number of documents as well. The possibilities that this opens up is also very interesting. You can probably have a chatbot where you can ask these queries, where the users can ask these queries and get results through the chatbot, making that more like a virtual policy help desk as well. So this is a very interesting concept that we have prototyped and will be productizing soon in upcoming release. So essentially, so these are the different ways we are addressing the different challenges that the first line users will have in in accessing these policies, etc., and making sure that the first line users are engaged. But the overarching theme in all these is to make sure that the first line users find it extremely easy to search and access policies and perform the necessary tasks like attestations, etc. With that, when they are able to do that, when they know what policies, when they are able to do that, they will be able to access the policies that they need to. They'll be able to attest them, which means it would also mean the policy management program will itself be more effective. So that's the whole idea of how we can engage the first line better, leading to effective policy management. With that, I come to the end of my presentation and the demo. Hope you found this session useful. We request you to continue the conversations on GRC Summit. Thank you.